dealership wants to sell these. All they have to do is have the salespeople ride it.
Holy crap, this thing is awesome. Like I said before, I ride a 08 Subaru 1000. This thing, hands down, has my back seat. It's comfortable. It accelerates like on a dime. Oh God, this thing is beautiful. I love this bike. This is awesome.
I ride a 2007 GSXR 1000 Suzuki, and we're about ready to test ride this bad boy, this Kawasaki, and see if it's all that it's cracked up to be. So,
sweet.
Let's get on. First things first, you say you don't handle like a sport bike? You must have went down the wrong road. Because this thing handles well. And I ain't gonna lie, I pushed the crap out of this thing. And let me just tell you, very impressive. Very, very impressive.
That's surprisingly light. How much does it weigh? You know what? I had a KTM 650, like Super coach, and it kind of handles like that. Like it's so small, it just tips in. But it's a big, big motor.
I can sum up the Kawasaki Z1000 in 3 words: motor, motor, and motor. The biggest thing that I think people will be impressed with this motorcycle is simply the low and mid-range surge and power that it has.
That's nice. That was a real nice ride. I like that. You know, it feels light, you know, and responsive. You know, you don't have to honk it around to get it where you want to be. I like the position on it for a standard bike. It's got a nice, nearly upright position that leaves you more comfortable than you do on some of the more radical rides. So
yeah, no problems at all. I didn't feel like I had to muscle it over. It almost did it for me. I mean, a lot of bikes I've ridden, you really have to, you know, force it from one side to the other, and this was just easy as well. I mean, really nice and smooth, very sweet.
Very easy bike to ride, plenty of power, very manageable power delivery, great brakes, very comfortable motorcycle, just a great way to spend the day in the Central California coast.
I think the best part was when you stopped, you put your feet on the ground. Even with my 30-inch inseam, I still had a couple of inches between my crotch and the seat, which was great. When I first was told about the motorcycle coming out here, I thought, well, this is definitely going to be a younger audience, but I'm not so sure now. I think that the bike would appeal to a fairly wide range of people. It's a comfortable motorcycle. There's a lot of adjustment available. The torque is amazing, and I think anybody who just wants a good ride and for a lot of purposes, I think the bike would be very applicable for a codger as old as myself, and I'm closer to 70 than 60. So even I liked it.
Today I'm on the Ducati 1198S. My friend's on the Buell 1125R.
10.5.
A lot of bang for the buck. The handle's great, it's smooth, the shifting's good. It's like a little mini bike. You can just throw it into the corners, and yeah, I was really surprised.
Oh yeah, it's a serious motorcycle. I mean, we went through extremes of everything today, and the bike handled it all superbly, and yeah, big thumbs up. It's a great motorcycle.
Overall, I mean, it's definitely a bike that I think a lot more people should take a look at, because it fills multiple roles, and it just doesn't do them adequately. It does them all really, really well.
Night and day. I mean, I'm a owner of the first generation 2003, and much crisper throttle response, better handling, better center of gravity. I mean, it's unreal what you guys have done with this bike. I am very, very impressed. Lots of power. It was, you know, there was no point in the ride where, you know, I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough power. It was very, very crisp in the corners. It was a treat to ride.
After riding this bike today, I'm going to be working on getting one, because it certainly has a lot of the improvements that my old Bandit doesn't.
Tell you this much, The only other thing that's thrown me like that, thrown me for a loop, was when the CBR 900 came out. This thing's ridiculously light, overly powerful, and just a slight little flick of the wrist. Like it. Real good handling. Lightweight machine. Nice.
I really didn't think that it was going to have all the usable power it did. It really seems like it'd be a fun bike, you know, on your daily commute, or, you know, belting out the twisties on the weekends, you know. Even coming off of the stoplight's fun. Yeah, I have a full-on sport bike. I have a 636, and no need to downshift into first and second. You could stay in third if you wanted to, and it's going to get you there just as quick.
It was fun. I had lots of excitement on it. I'm smiling. Can't stop smiling. It's a fun ride.
The engine on this is great. I was in second gear most of the time with no problems, even down to stuff that I should have been in first gear for. It grunted out absolutely no problem. It's definitely peppy and definitely fast. And with those bars really out there like that, you can kind of move the bike around however you want. And like I said, when you're standing, you know, straight vertical, the bike can just move back and forth very easily. You can really tell it's a 1000. It kind of felt like a 600 at that point. And I'd love to take it to a track and see how it does there, but on the street here, it does great.
There was a very linear, very direct connection between the throttle and the rear tire. I got exactly what I wanted out of the motor at every moment. Did I mention that this thing is fast?
The bike is amazing. I like the bike. I recommend it for everybody that is looking for a sport bike. This bike is more amazing than a sport bike. It's more comfortable than a sport bike. And I think most of the people are going to be faster in this bike than in a sport bike.
Yeah, how was it?
It was great. I loved it. Had a lot of power. It was a fun ride. I had a really good time. Wish I could have rode it longer.
And your reach, you're good with this?
Yeah, it felt good. It was a really good feeling. The height, everything about it was great for me. I like it. I definitely take one.
I'm obviously a Harley rider today. Just checking this thing out. I own a number of different types of motorcycles, a sport bike not being one of them. But let me tell you, this thing is a rush. On a scale of 9 to 10, as far as I'm concerned, it's a 10. It's very powerful, it's smooth, it handles real well, hangs in the corners as fast as I was able to go.
Favorite thing about the bike was the howl when you revved it up. I mean, you know, when it went over about 6,500 RPM, there was this magnificent noise coming out of the airbox.
And it's just a cool motorcycle to get up and go rip up the canyons, go tear around the street.
Through and through a Suzuki guy for the most part.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all?
Not bad at all. That's the best Cowie I've ever ridden, I'll tell you that. And it sits lower than my Gixxer 600 too, so for a short person like myself, I easily have to put down on that. The dash is my favorite part though. I'd say actually the dash is my favorite part on it. And it's easy to see too with that yellow tint. You never see that yellow tint on any bikes. So that's a fantastic bike. Accelerates nice and smooth, goes through the gears nice and smooth, and hands down I'd choose this one over the Viking any day.
Just the smoothness, the way it flicks through the corners, I was really surprised as well. I expected it to be a little bit more cumbersome. Not really like a sport bike, but it surprisingly was exactly that. Just like a sport bike, but with a higher position. Just comfort, really comfortable. Really comfortable.
This is a bike that you can do your city commute, you could do highway travel, and then you could also do some really quick backroad strafing. The bike is capable, and yet it's comfortable, and it still has a very strong presence.
The bike felt all the way around. I have an FZ1 which is close to it, and I really like the bike. Felt nimble, and also on the power, a lot more torque than that I get out of my Yamaha.
How was
nice. Very nice. I've been more impressed with it than I thought I'd be. Very good. It feels a whole lot lighter than I'm sure it is. Feels almost like a 600 with some horsepower.
It's its own motorcycle. I mean, it really does
just about create a new category. It's just a really solid, real-world sport bike. It's not a poser's motorcycle, it's a rider's motorcycle. It's plenty fast, the engine is a gem, it does anything you want it to do. It pulls from 2000 all the way to the red line with very little hesitation anywhere.
Yeah, the 10 is more, it's more specialized, I guess you could say. It's not something that you can really utilize on the street. Something like this is a lot better. It handled like a sport bike. There's a lot of people on the ZX10 boards that are stripping down their bikes, so they're looking more of a, not so much a naked bike or a street fighter bike, but more of a style like this. And this, it's coming from the factory, just like what they're going through all the trouble to do.
Well, the first thing I have to say is that the Z1000 really exceeded my expectations. Expectations hopping onto any naked bike is that corners have been cut. Typically in the suspension and the fueling areas, usually the throttle response isn't as good. I didn't feel that with the Z1000. It felt nimble, obviously more nimble than my ZRX because it weighs about 100 pounds less, but it handles really well, and you could toss it around just really easily, but it didn't sacrifice stability. It dealt with the bad pavement, it dealt with having to make mid-corner adjustments, and overall just really, really pleased with the bike. Comfortable, and it did everything that you needed it to do. It was a blast to ride.
Yeah! That was fun.
Is this thing supercharged?
So I'll take two. I want one black like that.
I guess this is one of the bikes I was waiting for. I think it's really attractive. I think it's very modern. I like how light it is. I love the motor. 1800 RPM, 6 gear, blah. It pulls almost like a twin. I call it a twin, more like a triple. These days when people can't afford 4 or 5 different motorcycles, they want a bike maybe they can do track days with, they can do canyon or country road with, they can commute on it, they can take a weekend trip on it. They're not going to break the bank, so they can convince their wife to let them sign the paper. It's not $16,000 or $15,000 like an Italian motorcycle that's exotic. There's not a million of them out there, so it's something special about it. Oh, it's kind of cool. It's new for 10 grand. I think it's a really nice, you look at all those attributes and you say, all right, that's kind of a nice package.
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm riding 1098 Brutal.
That's freaking sweet. That thing just ripped, man. At mid-range, stand it right up. It's definitely on the list. That's fun. There you go. Can I sit on that one? Yeah. With the different cans?
Yeah, go ahead.
That bike rips.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, definitely. Like it a lot. It just feels right. Everything's in the right place. Smooth, fast. It's not what I expected. I've ridden, a friend of mine's got 2nd gen Z1000. It's fun. Father-in-law had an FZ1. And that was a fun bike after he tuned it. But this thing, just right out of the box, it just goes. It's fun. Definitely a fun ride.